Hello students, in the previous part we have studied about oogenesis, means formation of egg or ovum. In this part we will discuss on different types of eggs and what is the structure of an egg. Structure of an egg as well as we can say that ovum. The size of human female egg is nearly, that is very small, nearly 0.1 millimeter. An egg is a haploid, it means one set of chromosome. Haploid germ cell, which is round in shape. An egg is a spherical or round in shape structure that is very small in size. This is an egg. The outer membrane, which is called plasma membrane. This membrane is also called Vitelline membrane. Vitelline membrane. As well as vitelline membrane called primary oocyte or primary membrane. Primary membrane, not primary oocyte, primary membrane. This membrane is made up of its own cell. It means this cell is made up of this own cell. So it is called plasma membrane as well as vitelline membrane and primary membrane. The egg consists two zones. The first zone that is closer to the plasma membrane. This zone is called egg cortex and it is not so dense as compared to ooplasm. This is the outer zone which is called egg cortex. This zone is also called exoplasm. And the inner zone. This inner zone which consists a very less quantity of yolk in human being, not in all cells, in human being, as well as the cytoplasm, and it contains a nucleus. This inner zone is called ooplasm. This ooplasm contains nucleus and all organelles, all cell organelles, and a nucleus is present. This nucleus is not centric, nucleus which is eccentric circle, and it contains the genetic material, so it is called germinal cell. Nucleus is called germinal cell and it is eccentric in human being. It means the nucleus is not present centrally, it is present at one side. On the basis of presentation of nucleus, this egg consists two poles. The pole which is closer to the nucleus, the end which is closer to the nucleus, it means the nucleus is present here. So this end is closer. This end is called animal pole. Animal pole. The end which is closer to the nucleus, that is called animal pole. Sperm always enters into the egg through this pole. And the other end, which is away from the nucleus, that is called vegetal pole. Vegetal pole. On the basis of presentation of nucleus, there are two poles. The end which is closer to the nucleus, that is called animal pole. Always sperm enters into the egg through this pore, and the other end, which is called vegetal pole, which is the end which is far away from the nucleus. Clear? Now, how these membranes are present? First of all, we have listened that plasma membrane. Plasma membrane is also called vitelline membrane. How these membranes are produced and with which chemical substances are present here. First of all, we have seen that there are in the egg there are two zones. What region? The first region, which is closer to the plasma membrane, that is called exoplasm or egg cortex. It is rare, or you can say that less dense, but the zone centrally, which contains cytoplasm and nucleus, this zone is called ooplasm. It contains nucleus, cell organelles, and as this egg is a human being, so it contains very less quantity or amount of yolk. Because we have listened that, we have already studied, in human being, placenta present. Yolk is a nutritive substances. The amount of yolk will be produced higher in those organisms egg in which there is no placenta. It means oviparous. But in human being, the human being is a viviparous. The womb, developing embryo remains in the womb of the female, and the nutritive substances provided to the developing embryo from mother body through placenta. So, how these membranes are arranged and what are the categories of the different membranes? First of all, primary membrane. Primary membrane in human egg is called vitelline membrane. Vitelline membrane. This membrane is made up of its own cell. It means vitalogenesis, formation of egg, yolk. So these cells produce its own protective layer. First of all, this membrane is called plasma membrane as well as vitelline membrane. It is made up of secretion of its own cell. Its own cell. It means this cell is produced by secretion its own cell of the yolk. That is called vitelline membrane, and this membrane is called primary membrane. Second one is secondary membrane. Secondary membrane. The membrane which is produced by the secretion of follicular cell as well as made up of follicular cell. The membrane which is made up of secretion of follicular cell. It means the substance which is secreted by the follicular cell. These secreted substances also produce one membrane, and other follicular membrane, its own cell makes cell membrane, and by the follicular cell, that is called secondary membrane. How these membranes are produced? The first outer membrane is called plasma membrane, which is also called primary membrane. The second, just outside the plasma membrane, some substances are secreted by follicular cell, and that secreted substance gather around the plasma membrane in a jelly-like substance. And that produces one single membrane outside the plasma membrane, which contains a jelly-like substance. This membrane is only produced by the secretion of the substances by the follicular cell. This membrane is called zona pellucida. It means this membrane produced by the secreted substance by the follicular cell. See, this membrane is produced by secretion of follicular cell. Follicular cell. It is the part of secondary membrane. And second, just outside the zona pellucida, there are another cells which produced by the follicular cell. This is secretion by the follicular cell. It means the substances which is secreted by follicular cell that makes a layer which is known as zona pellucida. One more layer outside the zona pellucida which is made by the follicular cell. And the cells are produced, your cells are present in a radial symmetry, just like this one. Make this type of diagram. The cells are, arrangement of cells are in radial symmetry. So this membrane is called corona radiata. This membrane is made up of follicular cell, not secreted substance. Secreted substance layer is known as zona pellucida. Thus, layer which is produced by the follicular cell in the that is called corona radiata. Corona radiata membrane is produced by the follicular cell. Why this layer is called corona radiata? Because these cells are arranged in a radial symmetry, so it is called corona radiata. So secondary membrane is the membrane which is made by the secretion of follicular cell, that is called zona pellucida, and another by the follicle itself, that is called corona radiata. So we can categorize secondary membrane is zona pellucida and corona radiata. This is the second membrane or secondary membrane. After secondary membrane, one another protective layer is also produced by the secretion glands. By the glands in the oviduct or fallopian tube, that is called cell, and this membrane is called tertiary membrane. Tertiary membrane. The membrane which is produced by the glands or secretion of glands, secretion of glands, by the secretion of glands in oviduct, and that layer is called shell. That layer is called shell, and membrane is called tertiary membrane. These are three types of membrane which are produced just around the egg. Again, yolk. Formation of yolk is called vitellogenesis. On the basis of the amount of yolk in an egg, we can categorize different types of egg in three types. Types of eggs. Types of egg. On which basis? On the basis of present amount of yolk. Present amount of yolk. What is the value? What is the amount of yolk present in an egg? On that basis, three types. Which one? First is microlecithal cell. Microlecithal egg. Second one is mesolecithal egg. And third one is macrolecithal egg. So we categorize the egg in three types. There are three types of cell on the basis of present amount of yolk in the egg. Those are microlecithal egg, mesolecithal egg, and macrolecithal egg. Microlecithal egg, the egg in which yolk is present in very less quantity, just like as in human being. We have already write that very less quantity. The egg in which amount of yolk is very less. The egg in which the amount of yolk is very less. Because in human being, all the nutritive substances or maximum nutritive substances provided by to the embryo by the placenta. So there is no requirement of yolk. That yolk is called microlecithal egg. For example, human being. Mesolecithal egg, the egg in which yolk is present in moderate quantity. It means the required quantity, the amount of yolk is less than the required quantity. Moderate quantity, it means middle. But the egg requires most, means there is no sufficient amount of yolk present in the egg. That is called mesolecithal egg. Moderate amount of yolk. Moderate amount of yolk. It means no excess, neither excess nor less. That is called mesolecithal egg. For example, frog. As we have known that frog lay eggs. These eggs contain yolk in moderate quantity. So, first of all, as the fertilized egg produce embryo, the embryo development present in the larva stage, not a adult eggs. Adult frog no, but in larval. After that, larva change into pupa and adult. That is called metamorphosis. So the presentation of yolk is very moderate, not as required by the cell. Middle, that is called mesolecithal egg. And the egg in which yolk is present in sufficient amount. It means the required amount is present. That egg is called macrolecithal egg. Sufficient amount of yolk present. That is called macrolecithal egg. For example, birds. So, on the basis of presentation amount of yolk, we can categorize egg in three types: microlecithal egg, mesolecithal egg, and macrolecithal egg. Now, on the basis of the presentation of yolk in the cell, we categorize the egg in different types. Or we can say that on the location of yolk, on the basis of location of yolk, we categorize the egg in different types. First is isolecithal egg. Isolecithal egg. Isolecithal egg means yolk present centrally. Yolk present centrally. That egg is called isolecithal egg. Just like as in human, the yolk present centrally. human being. That is called isoleucical egg. And second one is X-leucical egg, or we can say acro or taloleucical egg. Taloleucical egg. Taloleucical egg. In this type of egg, yolk present at one side, not centrally. Yolk present at one side. That is called taloleucical egg, just like as in hen. The yolk present at one side, not centrally. Just like as a hen contains a egg, this one line, and yolk present at one side. This is called taloleucical egg, for example, in hen. This is two types of egg. One more type in insect. The yolk is present all over the cell. That is called iso, as well as all homoleucical egg that present in insects. But we have already discussed on the basis of amount of yolk, three types of egg, and on the presentation of yolk or location of yolk in egg, that is two types. Isoleucical egg in human being, it means the yolk present centrally, and taloleucical egg, it means the yolk present at one end, not all over, not centrally. So that is called taloleucical egg. So we have, in this part we have studied about what is the structure of egg as well as how many types of egg. In next part we will study about the menstruation cycle.